What do those two guys bring to this team?
Oh, a ton. I mean, they've played a lot of football, both of them. So just their experience. I mean, they've been great in the meeting rooms up to this point. But to actually get them out there and now show their work ethic, I think is going to be great.
What's their return to practice schedule this week for those two?
Everything we're going to do, it might be different for both of them. I think we're going to start them a little bit individual and slowly, gradually work them into it and see where they go from there.
Does this leave them both in line realistically to play against Seattle in your mind?
I mean, that's what we're hoping. I mean, all the guys that we have, we're trying to get everybody to week one. That's kind of our goal, and we've got a great training staff that has been working that way. But obviously, we'll see as we progress closer. Still, I think like 28 days or something like that, so a long ways away.
Well, Billy just... Where do things stand with Jonas, and what do you like about Joe Schobert bringing him in here?
One more time?
Jonas, where do things stand with him, and then signing Schobert? What you like about him?
Yeah, no, Jonas has done a great job. Obviously, the injury, and we'll see where that goes. But, Schobert's a guy that is another experienced guy that we know we can put in there, and he can play right away, and he can bring that leadership. I think he's had a lot of years with hundreds of tackles. So I think that's always a positive thing, and somebody that has played special teams, done a lot of different things, I think is going to definitely help us throughout that.
Jonas, is it possible for week one for him?
I mean, again, we're hoping for all that stuff. It's going to be weeks. But we're looking kind of that 4 to 6, that world there. So we're going to be right at kind of on that fine line right there. But he's done I know the type of man he is, and just looking at him and talking with him after the game, I wouldn't be surprised if he's there for week one.
What did you take from the film review of Saturday that maybe was different than your first impressions on the sideline?
First and foremost, we had those 3 consecutive drives for scores, which were great. We started off slow. I had a couple things that I think I could have corrected and helped them a little bit earlier because we saw some different things early. But in the end, the run game was not good enough, and we've addressed that. We've talked about that. We have to be able to adjust on the fly if things happen. And then too many mental errors. Too many mental errors across the board, defense and offense. We can't do that. I mean, those are the things that we control out here as guys understanding. But, you also have to take as a coach into perspective that, whenever you go out there with 11 guys, there's going to be a couple guys that are going to get mental errors. The problem is we put so many guys in there. So you're cycling through in a preseason game that, when you have more people play, and, it wasn't just one guy or one guy got, 10 mental errors. It was just, one guy here and there got a mental error. Usually you get, about one a game potentially at the most. And, that just added up. And I think that we just all have to be on it more, coaching and players.
Coach, what was it like?
No, I think that the Cowboys went into that game and said, we're going to stop the run. They're going to put everybody in the box and they're going to stop it. And, I wanted to try to force that a little bit and continually work at that. In a different situation, I think I probably would have thrown the ball a little bit more. But, it's again, you're always trying to get that run game going.
What was it like being in the stadium for the first time with the crowd there? There were a couple of moments of you pumping the crowd up. What'd you think of that?
Oh, it's great. Just to be in that environment. See, we have a brand new locker room. It's absolutely beautiful, and the guys were so excited to see that. Then to get out there and just be around all the fans and in a stadium. Out here it's great, and the fans that have been here have been amazing, but there's nothing like being in a football stadium and, football's back, and you felt it there. The fans were great. I just want to be sure they know I want a lot of juice. We're bringing the juice. I thought our sideline was awesome. The guys that weren't playing were totally into the game and firing the guys up, and in the end, we need that crowd. That's an unbelievable advantage for us, and we want them to get wild.
Was the plan?
Mudia and Delaney Turner-Yell were both evaluated for concussions during the game. Do you expect them to be able to practice? Or is
Yeah, they're great. They're great. Yeah, I think it was one of those things. I think they both were fine, and I think Turner came back in. OJ, just because it was a preseason game, we decided to hold off.
4 more guys on injuries. Gordon and Darby this week.
Yeah, they're day-to-day. I think Melvin will probably be out here. I think he's going to be able to go a little sooner. Darby is just day-to-day. We want to be sure he heals up fine.
How about Mute?
Same deal. Well, he's obviously had a procedure, so he's going to be a couple more weeks.
Okay. Was the plan always for Russ to dress, lead him out of the tunnel? Because usually a lot of these quarterbacks, when they don't play, they don't dress. What was that you and him talk about, simulating the game without him playing in the game?
I think that Russ always wants to simulate the game. Every opportunity he has, whether it's putting his pads on or being out on the sideline supporting, I think he always wants to have that. And, that was something that he wanted to do, and I approved it.
Since we haven't talked to you about Randy Gregory in a while, what is it about his game that makes him such a challenge for an opposing offense?
It was funny. We were watching, when we started game planning a little bit for Dallas, we put a game on just because we wanted to watch and make sure we knew what they were going to be presenting us. And the whole time it's funny, we were all looking at each other and going, "Oh, we're really happy that guy's on our team." He's a dynamic guy. He's got an unbelievable motor. He is nonstop all throughout the play. He's physical. He's fast. He's a smart player. I think all those things that he brings are so great for our football team. And watching him rush the edge is going to be something I'm excited to see.
You think K'Wan Williams will do team stuff this week?
And we're going to work him back in slowly. So we're hoping he slowly comes back. But again, we don't want to rush anything with him.
Hey, what was it that you saw in Barron when you and your staff got here in the spring to move him into positions, and what has it been like to see him progress through that in this
Yeah, I think it was one of those things, we had some good inside linebacker depth, and I guess we also have good outside linebacker depth. For him, after evaluating it, it just looked like he wasn't playing as fast as his potential was. And so we wanted to have the ability to put him, on the line and really get after the passer, because when he did pressure from that inside linebacker spot, there was a lot of good stuff. So why not just let him, get a feel if he can do that continuously. And now that we've put him there, he has really owned it. He had a couple moves, and, obviously working on the offensive side throughout the game, you don't get to really focus in too much on the defense. Saw him obviously get a sack and a couple other things, but to actually see it on tape, it was spectacular. He really had some great moves, some great counter moves. He was around the quarterback the whole day, so you can see he's really owning that and really becoming a lot better.